Now, everybody has a different story when it comes to building a business. To some, it's never an easy task to partake. And to some, they have very good stories of how they started from scratch and built their empires to profitability. And that's the reason why Business Kenya and MC Moments have partnered to bring you Biz Talks. Biz Talks. And here we shall be hosting mentors, people who have gone ahead of us, people who have created these empires, people who have also on the verge of creating these particular big businesses. And these lessons will be valuable for you, the business person, for you, the aspiring business person, the entrepreneur, so that at least you can make wise decisions when it comes to building that business. So every Friday at 8 a.m. on all business platforms, that's the Facebook and YouTube channel. Conversation still goes on. Thank you so much for joining us. Please tell a friend to tell a friend that our guest is in the house. Mark Mwangi is here, CEO and founder Amitruck, the top 21 startup to watch in the country. My goodness, such an amazing guest, and we are really sure to get to know what is this all about, what's in stock. But first, as usual, let's warm him up courtesy of Melvin. So welcome first of all to the show, Mark.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Good to see you.
Thanks
good to have you here. Now,
Thanks
very quickly, have you pipped through? I know I asked you to pip through. What is your choice?
I think I'll take the lemon and ginger.
Lemon and ginger.
Yes,
excellent. Please. With hot water? Is
yes,
that good
please.
to go? Excellent. Alrighty. So, good to see you, man. And, you know, I just pipped through. And I think today our customers, because we have a lot of them who come here, will get a lot of solutions, man. Because I was looking through the story of logistics in the country. And what you're doing, I'm sure our guys will be amazed. So have you told your friends to really get to share? Click on that share button. Let everybody know that Amitruck is in the house. And if they don't know who Amitruck is, they're going to be getting to know to see what to do around. How's it going, bro?
It's going good.
Yeah?
It's going good.
Excellent, excellent. A lot of constructions happening on the roads here, in our city. And a lot of things happening, holding up people, but all is good. I'm not saying anything.
Is that the polite way of saying I was late?
No, you're only a minute late, but it's okay. It's okay. We have seen a lot of things happening. So guys, as we are saying, keep the conversation going. Click on that share button. Let everybody know that Amitruck is in the house. And please let me know, where are you watching us from? Where are you watching us from? Grab a cup of your hot Melvins. My goodness, what am I taking, by the way? I have been taking a lot of hibiscus, and I think I'm still going to take one. You know why? You don't need sugar. By the way, do you need some sugar?
No,
okay?
I'm
You're
good
to go. Excellent. You don't need sugar. It has a way of just bumping your morning nicely.
It does.
So
it does.
I'll give you some. You take home. You feel how it goes.
Oh, perfect. Thank you.
All right. So now that you're in the house, Mac, it's good to see you here again. We always start by asking the nice question. When people ask, who is Mac, who do you say you are?
Wow. Kenyan entrepreneur.
Yes.
Recovering banker.
Yes. Oh, you were a banker?
Yes, I was, yes.
Yes.
And trying to be a good person.
Okay, that's a good one. But the question is, why did you use the word recovering? Somebody wonder.
I don't know.
Hey,
I guess it's just a way to explain the contribution an entrepreneur makes to the world is a little bit more impactful than, say, an employed city worker. So
all right.
I don't know. I'm not sure why they use that word. I guess I just adopted it like everyone else did.
Good to know. Good to know. So, quick question. I think you mentioned something about banker there. Maybe that would even give a bit of an answer. Was it always for your entrepreneurship, or this is something you picked up along the way? How was it for you?
Sorry, I don't quite get that.
It's more of, did you see always yourself in entrepreneurship because now you're in business?
Right.
Or was it a transition from employment?
No, actually, I'll be quite honest by now. My younger years were, let's say, less fortunate.
Okay.
So as I went through university and finished my degree, I looked for safety.
Where was that, by the way?
So I grew up in Kenya. I studied here, and I went to university quite young.
Yeah.
And I went to university in the UK. Unfortunately, when I got there, due to unfortunate family circumstances,
Yes.
I was self-supporting quite young.
Oh.
And so it was a bit of a struggle to get through my maths degree. And, well, I'll just say it. I mean, to put myself through my maths degree, I actually drove a truck in and around London full-time. And then I did my maths degree full-time as well.
Okay.
And that's how I managed to pay the £15,000 you needed to get through university.
Yeah.
And it meant that when I finished, my sole goal in life at the time was security.
Okay.
And so I went into banking, and I did that for a very long time.
Okay.
And I guess when I say I'm recovering,
Yes.
maybe that hopefully that helps. So I was basically running away from, I guess some part of me was running away from being poor.
Okay. All right. Okay. Abdi Hussein, thanks a lot. Some guys are already giving shout outs here. Okay, that's an interesting way of looking at it. So I feel like you were immersed into it because you had to look for ways of survival there for yourself, which is very nice. And I love the fact that you drove a truck.
I did.
That means there's something else, because we'll be touching about that with Amitruck. So then looks like it's a very nice transition to entrepreneurship, and which now drives me to the question, Amitruck. First of all, what's the first question I should ask you? Why the name, and what is the need that you have seen that needs to be solved?
So at the time we started Amitruck, which was probably late 2018, the word that every tech startup was using, or the words used to describe tech startups, was disruption.
Yeah.
And actually, we felt Amitruck was more of an enabler. So Ami is the French word for friend.
Friend.
So friendly truck. So we're trying not to be scary. We're trying to, tell people, we're here to help.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's basically what's behind the name.
No, I like the name.
Amitruck, yeah.
A friendly truck. Is that a good way of saying it?
Yes.
Speaking of which, now, of course, you've given out the genesis of the name. What then, from where you sat, looking through Africa, because I read about you talking about the logistics story of Africa. So then, what is this need you saw and you knew this is an opportunity?
Yeah. The need was really two-sided. I think on the truck owner side, maybe a better way to put it is, there were constantly these informal brokers who we found out sat between a cargo owner and his transporter.
Yeah.
And these guys, you could have up to 3 between the two, and they can take up to 60%
Absolutely.
of the delivery fee.
A lot of money.
And then on top of that, they introduce a layer of complexity and opacity, which means that if something happens to your load, it's very difficult for you as a cargo owner to understand what went wrong. And if it gets damaged or stolen, then tough.
Yeah.
There's no compensation. So what Amitruck set out to do was to close that gap. And I guess just to drive that point home, in Kenya, the cost of most goods sold, 60% of it can be transport. And that's like 5 times higher than it is in a developed market. And so by closing this gap and connecting a transporter directly with the cargo owner, you can get rid of that.
Wow.
Then if you vet the driver and you vet the vehicle and you make sure the goods are insured, so if something happens, the cargo owner is compensated, then you can really close that gap.
Okay.
And that's basically the role that Amitruck tries to play.
Okay.
I guess you could also say that the process of finding a truck can be very manual and tedious right now. So if you're in an industrial area, or you're in Pangani or in Bakassi, you walk out on the road, you speak to 3 or 4 drivers, you don't know if they're any good, you don't know if your goods will be insured.
Absolutely.
It's very difficult for you to compare across many of the transporters. And so using tech, it's very easy for you to come onto our platform, speak to one of the 5,000 vehicles we have. We will arrange the pricing. You will see how they've been reviewed from the previous trips they've done on our platform. And using that, nicely arranged information, it's very easy for you as a cargo owner
Yeah.
to choose the vehicle you want.
And we'll get into that actually on how this whole, your system works out, because it's really fair from what I saw. And, we'll be enlightening our viewers how this works. But I am still on the process of how, you came up with this, because at first maybe I thought you either tried to transport something and then, oops, it disappeared somehow. People come up with many things. It could be a pain on something. So that's how people come up with, solutions towards that. But I love the fact that you have experience in this and really come into to change the game of how things are done, the trust levels, all those things, the tracking. I think that's, in fact, I must admit, and forgive me for this, I came across Amitruck just a few weeks back after getting to hear about you, and I was like, what? I've had it rough sometimes with guys, you transported some goods. It's not the same number. Things happen, and maybe I'm speaking for the many who as well are still trying to decipher how do we have a trustworthy system that will transport our stuff. But we'll be talking about that. Please let me know that you're watching and where you're watching us from. Mark is around here. I want to give him time to sip something as he goes on. So let's get to how it works. Somebody's saying, okay, that's amazing. How does it work?
It's really quite simple. We on the cargo owner end, if you're a cargo owner, you simply go on our website or you get the app.
Yeah.
The mobile app.
Yeah.
There's a very short registration process. I think it's quite intuitive. So it's almost like using Uber.
Okay.
So you just tell us, what about your load, what kind of vehicle you need, any special instructions for the driver.
Okay.
We send that out to all the vehicles that could transport your load. In return, they can see all the details laid out for them. They can see the trip on the map.
Yeah.
They can see where they need to go. They can see how far it is.
Yeah.
They can see what time they need to pick it up.
Okay.
And using that information, they send their pricing to you as a cargo owner.
Okay.
They can also see each other's prices.
So they can always see.
It's a little competitive.
Competitive, definitely.
And then you as a cargo owner can see the driver's initials, how many trips they've done,
Yeah.
what their rating is out of 5 stars,
Wow.
and the price at which they're offering to do the job. And
Lovely.
using that information, you can then decide which driver you'd like to use.
So let's speak from the point of drivers first.
Sure.
So someone is watching today, they have an amazing truck, and they would want to get onboarded on Amitruck. They have an opportunity, right?
Yes, they do.
So all they need to do as well is call you up, register, and then you do your vetting to them and they're in.
It's actually simpler. You download the app, and the
Okay.
registration process is all digital.
Wow. So if I have a truck, my good guys who have trucks, just get in there now.
Correct. Correct. There's some you basically get the app, you put in your details.
Yeah.
You have to upload some documents, your driving license, your logbooks, your insurances, because we have to make sure that our cargo owners are safe.
Yes.
And the rest, you're able to get jobs.
You're in.
Yeah.
You're into business. I'm saying
Correct.
this because I have a friend who has been talking about, he has this amazing new truck, but he still sometimes calls our guys business, what? Get in there. I don't want to call his name out. Does it matter about the cargo size? Because what do you have on board? Is it from the huge trucks? Sorry, I don't know the big names, man. From the huge trucks to the small ones, is it everybody onboarded, or is it just for maybe the large scale guys only?
Okay. So in Kenya, we work with the 28-ton truck, that's 30-ton trucks at the higher end.
Yeah.
We do have some borders. So we do everything from a border, a van, a pickup, a 3-ton, a 5-ton, a 7-ton, a 10-ton, a 15-ton, and a 28-ton truck.
Okay.
So we walk through the whole range.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Lovely. So, in Kenya we have some ways of calling them. So is this miguu kumi?
Yes, so the miguu kumi is normally the 15-ton, but yes. And then the 28 and the 30 is the 28-wheeler. Is the 18-wheeler.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lovely. So if that is there now, everybody knows.
Yeah.
Okay. How long have you been in this business now? Since you started, how long has it been?
So the journey started in October of 2018, late October 2018.
Yeah.
We launched the app in March of 2019, and we've been in business ever since.
Wow. How's the reception so far?
So far, so good. I think we've been very lucky. We've seen a lot of traction in the last couple of years, and it doesn't feel that way when you're in the office, but it's going very well.
Okay. Okay. Lovely. That's actually very young. 2019 to now.
Yeah, I guess just a bit over 2.5 years, maybe.
Yeah. Wow. So how many drivers have you onboarded so far?
We have about just under 6,000 vehicles registered on the platform today.
That's a big number.
We're working with about 200 businesses,
Yeah.
some big names, so Unilever's, Weetabix, DHL, you know.
Those are huge names.
Yes.
You better name them slowly.
Thank you.
I had some DHL, some Weetabix, and all that. Hey, that's good clientele.
Thank you.
Very reputable companies.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And how's the distribution like? Are your trucks distributed countrywide, or are we first of all centered around where there's a lot of work, like Nairobi, Mombasa? How would you say is your distribution like of your drivers?
So I think in the last year, we've really gone nationwide. So we're in Nairobi, we're in Kisumu, we're in Nakuru, Eldoret. I mean, I don't think there's a town where we're not making a daily delivery.
Yeah.
And proudly for the team, I think we now do deliveries within far off areas. So
Yeah.
from Kisumu to Kakamega, from Nakuru to Eldoret.
Yeah.
It's quite an achievement, I think.
Okay. I'm going to talk about something because you mentioned some very top names that have entrusted you with giving you business. In fact, when you mentioned DHL, that's a global thing, man.
Yes.
And if they're onboarded and they are already working with you, that's amazing. You've talked about what other companies have had Weetabix?
We work with them. So we work with Weetabix, we work with DHL, work with Unilever.
Unilever, wow, that's a huge
Work with
company.
Clarks.
Locally. Okay.
But I'd also like to shout out to my fellow startups. So
Yeah, it's okay.
we
It's
work with we work with Trigger, we work with Soccer Watch.
To the foods.
That's right.
Good. Good.
Market Force 360. So we work with a very wide range
Yeah.
of businesses.
No, those are amazing, amazing clients to have. So my question would be this. Why, from where you sit then, are startups such crucial, especially to growing economies? Because you're a startup, and I saw, maybe explain that in a word, because I saw you're the startup to watch in 2021. I'm going to ask a very
That's a journalist's opinion.
That's a journalist's opinion?
Yes.
Okay, I was about to say who said that.
I think it was Disrupt Africa.
Okay. In fact, that's my other question as well. Your goal is Africa. Cover it
Yes,
all.
yeah, I mean, that's the vision, right? So
Yeah.
you hope you can make it.
Yes.
Yes, that's the vision, is to get across Africa.
Someone said a vision needs to scare you enough.
Correct.
But now that you've conquered, I feel like you've conquered Kenya. You're now about to just cross the borders now to East Africa.
I don't know if I'd say we've conquered Kenya. I think we've had a good start. I think we've been lucky, and we have a great team, which helps.
Yeah.
We're just stepping into Uganda as we speak, so we've just opened up in Uganda. We're probably looking to get into Tanzania as well,
Okay.
and I think that'll be the first sort of push
Yeah.
into the rest of Africa.
Okay. Now, I see there's a lot of, and maybe you disrupted as well, some of the transport sector and how they're operating here. Because I see now Uber introduced a little bit of that. Now you can do some borders or something. I've seen even Bolt trying to do all those kind of things as well. I don't know whether you're the one who has kept them uncomfortable, but this must be competition on your end, right?
I'm not so sure. So we don't really come across Uber
Yeah.
because Uber Freight didn't launch in Africa
Yeah.
yet. So
It
we don't do
yes.
any passengers.
Yeah.
We only do cargo.
Yeah.
And I'd actually contend, like the name suggests, that we didn't disrupt, we just enabled.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Do you have a staff that works with you? Of course, directly. The indirect ones are all the drivers I know, definitely. Yeah.
You mean employees?
Yes.
Yeah, so we're a team of about between 40 and 45. I haven't checked. Yeah.
Wow. Where are you based?
We work out of an office in Karen,
Okay.
yeah, in Nairobi. Yeah.
And guys are allowed to visit you if they want to verify you.
Absolutely,
completely.
yeah, sure. We're welcome.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Come
they
around
can
with a
just
t-shirt.
All right, so let's talk about why startups are crucial, especially in growing economies, from your own experience and really what you're doing. Definitely can pick up a few things, because if you have a staff of about 40, 45, definitely they have a lot of also dependence with them, and so there's a whole impact definitely. But from where your standpoint, where you see it, what would you say is the impact startups have, and why are they crucial? Go ahead.
So economic growth comes from innovation.
Yeah.
And startups are crucial for innovation. I
Yeah.
think for growing economies that have some of the challenges we see in Africa today,
Yeah.
startups help communities solve critical problems. The reason your startup makes it is because you're solving a problem that the world cares about. So in many ways, whether they're economic or social,
Yeah.
startups literally solve problems.
You're right.
And when they solve those problems, they make it. And
Okay.
if they don't, they fail. So, I think startups are really, especially for Africa, startups are really important because we have a lot of problems that need solving.
You're right.
I think the other thing that startups do is they create jobs and they create income. Right? So,
Definitely.
we pass on a lot of income to our partner,
Yeah.
our delivery partners. We enable SME supply chains to work a lot easier.
Yeah.
We contribute to environmental and sustainable goals by using the existing vehicles in the Kenyan national fleet
Yeah.
more efficiently by reducing the empty runs. And we also help the community of drivers through partnerships with companies that are interested to help.
Yeah.
So we have a partnership with Auto Express, for example, to inspect the vehicles to make sure they're safe, to make sure your tires aren't worn.
Yeah.
This benefits the driver because it means that his vehicle doesn't break down.
Yeah.
It means that he doesn't get stopped by the police for having flat tire, for having worn out tires.
Yeah. True that.
And on the other hand, it means you as a customer get a better service, get a better vehicle. The vehicle is, and for the community, it means the vehicle is safer.
Yeah.
We partner with companies such as Possession and Power to help drivers finance spare parts, finance fuel. And we also, I think last year, just as COVID started, we partnered with Aneza Education to give our drivers' children free education, digital education during COVID.
Wow.
So, there's many impacts that startups bring because
Yeah.
we have a very open mind in terms of what needs to happen, but you're solving problems that hopefully the community cares about.
Lovely. And so my question to you is this, because you have experienced it last 2 years or so, do you feel you have enough support, of course, from government and authorities that need to always check you up? Do you feel there is enough support? Because you're speaking on behalf of many others. I've had so many sit here and say many other things. I want to hear from your opinion. Do you feel like there's enough support for startups in this country? Or is there some recommendations you would give, hopefully, to make it better?
Right. Yeah, I think that's a better approach. So, startups work best when you have the institutions and the regulations to support a fair working environment where there is no favoritism, where investors know that their funds will be safe,
Yeah.
where law can be enforced,
Yeah, very true.
contracts can be honored, and if they're not, the systems are in place and the institutions are there to support that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I want to say anymore.
You're being safe, man. I guess how safe you are. No, but I'm still going to pin you a little bit more and ask you this question. There must be, just choose one. One thing that you say, if this was fixed, things would be better. It's okay, because we have people watching it, and most of them have the ability to push this kind of agenda. You have the platform.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so I'll take it because I think this one is important. It's not just for startups. I think this is important for Kenya.
Yeah.
I think as African countries, we've now ratified and signed to the African Free Trade Zone Agreement.
Absolutely amazing. Amazing conversation there.
If you look at what has happened historically in Kenya, we've been exporting raw materials. So our tea farmers are broke.
Yeah.
Our coffee farmers are broke. And that's because we don't make, produce, and sell to the rest of Africa.
Yeah.
We are sending what is a agricultural product abroad.
Yeah.
And I think opening up the borders and allowing our tea farmers, our agricultural farmers, our services,
Yeah.
accountants, lawyers, technicians, to sell to 1 billion other Africans is the way to go. And
Absolutely.
that would lift our GDP per capita significantly.
Absolutely.
And the fact that we've signed,
Yes.
it's a bit frustrating that we're not yet allowing it to happen because it's done, right? Most of the countries have signed up.
Yeah.
So there's no reason why, was it Melvin?
It's Melvin's.
Melvins can't sell to 1 billion African consumers. You know, there's no reason why Ketepa can't sell to 1 million.
Yeah.
Yeah. So open it up and let's trade. Let's get Kenyan services and Kenyan goods to other African countries. That's what lifted China out of poverty. That's what lifted the US out of poverty. That's what lifted Europe out of poverty. So I can't see why we need to rewrite the book when we just do it.
I know a few people who sit in this advisory for especially AFCTA that you've talked about. I really want to get the answers why it's not operational fully now. You know, I feel like they've been really opening up on some of the licenses up so that at least things are flowing easy. But as you said, they need to be faster because somebody here spoke about what Tanzania is doing and that they are moving at the very first speed, and if Kenya slips around, they might get a shocker, especially when in new markets like Congo that are opening up. I mean, we are way behind in terms of taking some of the opportunities that are there. So it's okay, you're safe. You're not the only one who has said that. So feel free.
Thank you.
So guys, where are you watching us from? This is a very interesting conversation. I want to know. I have seen some of your comments. I'll be reading them through at some point. Let me ask you, did you have an IT background now that this is purely, you know, for someone who's listening to you, thinking through, it's more like you're challenging the status quo. We only know of Ubers that come from abroad, the Bolts from there. This is local, this is here, you're Mac, you're local. So the question is, did you have to get all this IT background knowledge to do this?
So I keep saying this, and it is true. We are very lucky, right? So when I first had the idea to do Amitruck, I actually had it with my younger brother.
Oh.
And he's a double degree from MIT. And so he did all the tech stuff.
Yeah.
And I did all the sort of business end of it.
Yeah.
So that's where the technology angle came from.
Okay. Okay. Love it. It's a good mashup there with your bro. Shout out to him. Let's talk about building trust, because from the startups you've mentioned, even to the big companies that you've mentioned, definitely there's some trust that you've built with these people for them to really give you that. And this is definitely something every entrepreneur wants to build, especially with their clientele and customers. So from your experience, what does it take to build such levels of trust?
I think you're asking me sensitive questions today.
Which are very nice, because this is a business
So
show.
one of the things I noticed when I came back to Kenya was that there was very low trust in e-commerce.
Yeah.
I think I've since understood there's actually just very low trust in whichever system you look at, political, commercial, it's just low trust.
Yeah.
And I think that challenge reflects itself in our space. So to build trust, you have to do things over and over again with a safe outcome. You know,
Very
first
true.
you sit,
Very
you try it, doesn't fall. Next time you sit a bit less carefully.
Yeah.
The third time you jump into the seat.
Absolutely.
And that's the same sort of thing that we're doing within the Amitruck platform, is to show cargo owners and to show drivers you can come back time and time again and have a consistently nice result.
Very true. So there's an element there of consistency.
Yes.
And being reliable.
Correct.
Lovely. I wanted
And
to
the transparency helps as well,
Yeah.
right? When you can see what everybody thinks, you can see what everybody's pricing,
Yeah.
and more importantly, you can also see where you stand among that. Yeah.
Okay. That's a very good answer, honestly, especially for all the entrepreneurs there. Consistency there, keep it on. So let's talk about your operations and the impact you have seen. What would you say on that?
In terms of impact, the thing I'm most proud of is actually on the cargo owner, on the driver side.
Yeah.
So we're probably doing about 5,000 loads a month now.
That's huge.
That's taking mostly vehicles owned in fleets of 5 or less. So it's a small business owner.
Yeah.
It's someone in a rural area who has a few vehicles.
Yeah.
And you're connecting them to businesses that they generally would never work for.
Yeah.
And I think I'm very proud of that.
Lovely.
I love that. I think those guys deserve a chance like everyone else.
Okay.
And I'm really happy that they've trusted us to help them walk through their business journey.
So someone would ask, every entrepreneur has their competition. What's yours?
Oh, there's a lot of competition in the space. There are other startups that are trying to do this.
Okay.
I think the majority of the market is still controlled by the traditional broker.
Yeah.
This is a guy who has what we call a mulika mwizi.
Yeah.
Hangs around busy areas, somehow knows where all the vehicles are, knows where all the cargo is, and connects them,
Yeah.
leaving the cargo owner at some risk,
Yeah.
and sometimes not paying the transporter or not paying them on time. The second most,
Competitor?
biggest competitor is probably a customer's own vehicles.
Oh, yeah.
So, if I said, what is Uber's biggest competition? It's probably your car.
Very true.
It's the same thing in cargo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are you doing to stay ahead of your game? Learning secrets here.
Listening to our customers. And when I say customers, I mean drivers
Yeah.
and shippers.
Okay.
Listening carefully and making sure we serve them well.
Wow. I like your straightforward questions. Answers, sorry. So do you belong to any associations or, have you gotten some accreditations as well? Because this as well contribute to your customers building trust on you as well.
I think as Amitruck, we've been, again, I keep saying we're lucky. We've been very lucky. So we've been through the Google for Africa Accelerator.
Yeah.
We just came out of Ninja, which was the Japanese Investment Corporation Authority's African Accelerator.
Okay.
We have just been accepted into Bad Start, which is ABI InBev, which most people probably don't know, but these are the makers of Budweiser.
Okay.
They're probably the biggest brewer in the world. So we've just gotten into their accelerator. So yeah, we've been lucky. We sort of somehow managed to wriggle our way into some of this lovely associations, as you call them.
Alrighty. I want to narrow down to one of your accelerator programs that you've been at.
Sure.
The Badstart. Tell us about Badstart first and why you're excited about it.
So why are we excited about Badstart? I think the first thing is, initially I thought there were about 300, but I now know there were about 600 applicants across Africa.
Wow.
They picked 4.
Okay.
We're one of the 4.
Yeah. Just post there. I want our viewers to know what Badstart is all about.
Okay, so Badstart is, so ABI InBev is the biggest beer manufacturer in the world. I think, and forgive me if this is wrong, but I think if I remember correctly, they're doing, in Africa, they're doing 30 million crates to 500,000 outlets. Most accelerators will give you exposure, they will give you mentorship, they'll give you advice, they'll connect you to their networks. So the reason why Badstart is different is they actually give you paid work.
Paid work, wow, that's nice.
Right, so,
that's nice.
It's almost like, cut the crap, let's get to the... So that's why we're excited about Badstart. So we're going to be doing some work with them in East Africa.
Yeah, wow.
And they pay you for it. Right, and I think the best way to learn is to do.
Yeah, get on the ground.
So that's the reason we're really excited to be part of Badstart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, that's nice. And by the way, so you were the only one selected with a few others, right?
There were 4.
4.
Yes.
And you're among them.
Yes.
That deserves a clap, man.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's talk about this industry in itself, logistics, man. It's more of a male-dominated industry completely,
Yes.
and you are there definitely. How does Amitruck entrench, just gender equity and equality in your business?
I think in a couple of ways. So the first way is that internally, Amitruck is not male-dominated. We're about 50%.
Okay, that's lovely.
Our team has a lot of female members, and I think they bring a lot to the table.
Great.
Okay. I think the second way in which we do it is using technology and the trust and transparency that we're trying, or that we keep as our vision,
Yeah.
means that a lot of our customers, in fact, most of my biggest customers, our face to them is normally a lady supply chain manager.
Wow. Okay. They do
Right.
better.
That's, well, they
That's my
they
opinion,
under
though.
promise and over deliver, right?
Yes.
and so if you look at most of my big clients,
Yeah.
the person you're talking to is normally an important lady.
Yes.
And then on the other end, what we've now seen is increasingly more and more female truck owners are finding a very nice way to do the logistics business
Yeah.
through the platform.
Okay. Wow. Lovely. And I'll pay a visit
Sure.
to confirm this, right? Live on camera. But I mean, that's a good one as well, because there's a lot of conversation as well of ensuring we have the balance. And you'd be surprised at how some of all this just male-dominated industries, or maybe the other genders as well, sometimes when you mix up, you even get a variety of amazing ideas as well that come out of the place. And thanks a lot for highlighting that. So let's talk about how you ensure that you are constantly growing, because a lot of our viewers as well are business people who would want, we always call it sharpening one another. So at Amitruck, how do you ensure you're constantly on a growth path, that you're not just dilly-dallying or pulling back? That's another sensitive question.
It is, yes, and I'm not sure how to answer it. I think it's the energy that the team has,
Yeah.
and I think it's the nature of a startup.
Yeah,
So I think a startup is a growth business.
absolutely.
Unlike any other business,
Yeah,
growth is at the core of what you're trying to achieve. But a startup is also lucky in the sense that what you're doing is almost like stacking an empty shelf.
yeah,
I guess we call it, there's a lot of white space.
yeah,
So if what you're doing has never been done before,
yeah,
you're kind of just penetrating into that.
Yeah.
So it's about making something and letting people know you've made it, and then making sure
Yeah.
that you keep that going. Yeah. And that's what keeps you and part of that penetration means you can probably grow a little faster than most of the businesses do.
Okay, lovely. I want to get into questions the guys are asking,
Sure.
so I'll be shooting them straight on. But before then, I just want you to highlight from where you sit, what are some of the challenges that you're facing, and or some of them that you're still fighting to, get yourself on a better, safer way of doing your business.
So I think, and there's so many startups in Kenya, it's an amazingly innovative space. The ecosystem is really, I think all the startups have the same problems.
Yeah.
But there's no single place in a startup that isn't a problem. It's just a question of ranking them in order of what will kill me next.
Yes.
Right? So you think about getting talent, you think about getting funding, you think
Yeah.
about getting customers, you think about getting paid on time, you think about the product that you're doing, whether it's technology, how you sell it,
Yeah.
the team you use to sell it.
Absolutely.
Every single thing is a challenge. So you
challenge.
constantly have all these balls in the air.
Wow.
And it's just a question of which one is almost falling and how do you juggle it back up. So I think it's you always have loads and loads of problems.
Yeah.
I guess the only good thing is, as an entrepreneur, you pick those problems.
Okay.
So at least you have a problem you like.
Pick it up.
Yes, at least you have one you like.
Okay. Okay, let me just shoot straight questions now from guys, and now you can send in your questions. Mark will be here to tackle them up. Someone is saying, I have a truck. How much does it cost to get onboarded?
Nice. Yeah, it doesn't cost anything.
Yeah.
So you just download the app, it's on the Play Store, and you're good to go.
There you have it. Straightforward answer. Goodness. Can I just first of all read a few of the comments because there are quite a number. Let me see. Abdi Hussein. It's 10 p.m. here at West Coast. Oh, somebody's watching us from West Coast. I like your energy, man. Oh, thanks a lot. I appreciate. Melo tuned in. Any investment opportunity with Amitruck? Someone is asking whether there's an investment opportunity with you guys. What do you tell them?
I'm sure there will be in the future.
Oh, it's coming.
It's coming.
Lovely. And by the way, you know, startups that are doing these well and going up well end up sometimes listing. You never know. Goodbye shares there. Geoffrey Alemba Kenyan tuned in. Thank you a lot. Oh, in fact, the question is already here. Are you guys thinking of going public? It's in the future. That's the answer, right?
Yeah.
Maybe I shouldn't say it for you. Say it.
In the future. Thank you.
Doni Kithendo. Accelerators play a big part in validating a business idea and energizing teams. Being accepted to top accelerators is evidence that you're going places.
That's very kind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doni Kithendo, you got to share there once they list. Thanks a lot for that comment. So they're saying kudos for that. So let me just open a different page that has more questions. Let me see. What excites you about the future of Amitruck? First of all, what's the future that you see? That would be a better way of asking, and then you tell us about what excites you about it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the honest answer is no one really ever knows where it's going to go. Yeah. But the vision is to be across Africa.
Wow. Still tied to the vision. I love it.
Yeah, that's the vision.
No, and I like your honesty. Yeah, no one really knows sometimes. Sometimes you just dare to dream.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's important to, though.
Lovely. What's your biggest fear in doing this business?
Not doing it. How can you not try?
No, I like that answer. Yeah, so you have to keep going.
You have to keep going. You do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask another different question
Sure.
on that. Have you had this truck driver who misbehaved and you're like, what's up?
We've had a few. But the interesting thing is we've now done over, since we started, we've probably done 35,000 deliveries.
Wow, that's good.
And we've had 2 go wrong.
That's a drop in the ocean.
Right? In terms of like really wrong, right?
Yeah.
Like it's not going to make it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's been a big surprise to me because when you come back to Kenya like I did in 2018, and people tell you about corruption and how bad it is and how theft and all this stuff, and then actually you find 99% of people who actually go and buy a truck or buy a pickup and start a business to transport goods actually intend to do that, and then they do it.
Wow.
And they do it over and over and over again.
Yeah.
So I'm really, really proud of my transporters. Wow. These guys have held us up.
Yeah.
Massively.
Faithful.
And I keep saying I'm lucky, and you can see why.
Wow. I can see. You have amazing guys, and shout out to those guys who do genuine business. Thanks a lot for that. Okay, let's get a bit of, let's sharpen each other now. A bit of your, where there's definitely, like you have a huge number. When you talk about 40s plus, that's a huge number of people to really work with. And of course, even the indirect ones, all these drivers that you really have to work with as well. There must be skills that you have honed over the time, over the 2 years plus, of course. But definitely, I see you started way back. Definitely, you being on a truck yourself definitely speaks a lot. So, what lessons have you learned in managing people? Stuff that you could share with people here that, well, this and this works for me,
Yeah, so I think, first of all, I'll say that, having a good team is like so important. It makes all the difference. I think the second thing is that having the right culture and the right environment for your team to thrive is great.
Yeah.
So at Amitruck, we bring the same vision that we bring to the market internally. So there's a lot of trust and transparency, but that means there's a lot of ownership and responsibility.
Yeah.
But the joy of ownership and responsibility is it gives people When you think of happiness, you think of sitting on the beach with sunglasses and a pina colada.
Yeah.
But actually, in life, fulfillment comes from solving problems.
Love it.
Right? So as you own and get over hurdles,
Yeah.
it makes you mean something.
Okay.
So if you do your job and it counts,
Yeah.
it means that not only do you help us,
Yeah.
you go home happier.
So what you're saying, that if you have a couple, whatever, one or two staff members, let them feel it. Let them feel that they are having that impact to the end game,
Correct.
right? Absolutely.
Correct.
Appreciate that, man. I'm also taking notes here indirectly. Wow. Okay. What values are important to you as a leader, leading all these people and leading this business? Definitely, there are some things that you say this is a no-goes on, and this is what I appreciate.
No.
Yeah.
When you say that, you mean within the team or
Could be you as a person.
me as a
first.
person?
Yeah.
I think acknowledging the role, but never letting that stop you from doing the hard work. And for me, it's the constant drive to learn and listen and understand from others.
Yeah.
I think that's
Okay.
personally that's what drives me, is to learn and to help and listen and learn from others. Yeah.
Okay. Lovely. Now, let me just get to questions, guys. That's ending here. Abdi, super listener today. Wow, goodness, you have a lot of questions. You talked about insuring cargo. So who insures your clients' cargo? I don't know whether you have to go specific, but you talked about that you insure the cargo for people,
So
right? Yeah.
there's a few things we do to make sure your cargo is safe. The first one is that we check the driver, so we know who he is. We have
Yes.
his documentation.
Definitely.
We check the vehicle, so we know who owns it. We have the documentation. We know the vehicle is roadworthy and it's insured.
Definitely. Yeah.
And then we ourselves make sure we pay for the insurance for the goods.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, which means that you as a cargo owner,
Yeah.
you know who's driving it, you know who owns it, and you know it's insured.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's secure.
Good question, Abdi, there. Somebody else is asking, how do you remunerate your drivers and make it a respectable profession? That's a very good question, because sometimes when you say you're a driver, people will look at it another way, but I like this question.
Yeah, I mean, we are economics 101, willing buyer, willing seller. So drivers send their prices,
Yeah,
customers choose.
yeah. I'm going to ask another question, because some people, which is a culture I've seen, maybe you'll tell me how you deal with it there. We have guys who do a lot of undercutting. And you wonder, how did you quote this? I mean, but I don't know. Have you experienced this?
Not really. Because for us, if you undercut, you have to then do it.
And suffer the consequences yourself.
So you'll find a delivery comes on and there's a lot of quotes and then it sort of stabilizes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back to sharpening. What would you say are your top, could be 1, 2, 3, whatever, are skills needed to become a successful, let me add another word, hardened entrepreneur that doesn't give up, since we've said we keep going.
Okay, so I wouldn't consider myself successful yet, but we are definitely thriving to get there. I think the hardest thing about being an entrepreneur is leaving employment
Yeah.
and jumping into
Entrepreneurship.
entrepreneurship.
Very true.
Because then you're no longer guaranteed an income
Yeah.
and the future is not as clear.
So what is that?
As it used to be.
Is that resilience, or what is that now?
Risk taking,
Risk taking.
yeah. Trying something,
I like that.
uncertainty,
Yeah.
which means you have to sort of see a problem that you really believe you can fix and that you believe people care if you fix, and then you just jump and go with it.
That's a good question and lessons learned there. So there's some bit of quick fire for you here. So what advice do you have for younger guys behind you, the younger generation? Because, we are constantly complaining that we have a huge workforce of young people. In fact, statistics have it, it's about 60 to 70%. Words used are like unemployed, guys and people telling them, you just get into business, whatever. From where you sit, what would you advise some young person there seated watching you?
Yeah, so When you walk around in an economy where there are many problems,
Yeah.
it's not nice. The other side of that coin is when you walk around an economy where there are many problems, there are many opportunities.
I like that.
So those are bedfellows, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
problems, opportunities. If you
Absolutely.
can solve the problems,
Yeah.
you have an opportunity.
Absolutely.
And we've seen this.
Yeah.
You know, we've seen a lot of startups in Africa now. We've seen a lot of them in Kenya. And some of them are even becoming unicorns, which are, you know, more than billion-dollar businesses now.
You're right.
So there are loads of opportunities for young, innovative entrepreneurs. And the
Yeah.
best thing about business is you don't have to be, you don't necessarily have to be a nerd. You know, you don't have to have had an A in school.
Yeah.
Whatever your natural talent is, because I think everyone has a natural A in them
Absolutely.
somewhere, in
Absolutely.
something,
Yeah.
you can probably make something out of it. It just requires a bit of hard work.
I just like that statement. Everybody has an A somewhere.
Yeah.
Use it.
Yes.
But then did you study here at some point?
Yeah, I grew up in Kenya. I'm Kenyan.
Oh,
Mwangi.
lovely. Mwangi.
Yes. Went to Mufega Primary.
Oh, yeah, it's good to mention. It's good to mention. Najma Hamida. Oh, insightful strategies, new startup. Absolutely. Strategy in new startups. Absolutely. Thanks a lot for that. More comments up here, but you know what? We only got about 3 minutes, so we must be coming to the closing sections of it. Legacy. What legacy would you want to leave behind? Whoa. Is it too early to ask you that question? But hey, go ahead.
I think for me, legacy just means leaving some sort of impact. So if you know, hopefully Amitruck becomes something that people, that the transporters and drivers enjoy working on, and that my customers trust and believe in.
Yeah.
And that means we'd have fixed something that counts.
You're
And
right.
leaving that behind
Yeah.
is, yeah, that would be quite important to me.
Yeah. Lovely. So this is why I give you a parting shot. And thanks a lot, guys, all of you who are watching and all of you who have sent all your comments and all that kind of things. Very good of you. So, but before you give your parting shot, I'm just thinking e-commerce. This is like the future of every business. I'm just thinking, seated where I am. What would you say?
Yeah, it is. I think digital is here to. It's going to penetrate Africa the same way it did everywhere else.
Yeah.
You look at e-commerce right now. I think it's about 2% in general in Kenya. You look at more mature economies and more mature categories, and it's about 40-50%.
Yeah.
So it's definitely going to change how we do business.
Yeah.
Because it's more efficient. It's easier and it's quicker. It's just more efficient. It's just
Very true.
a better way to do it. So these are some of the opportunities for growth for startups such as ours or any other digital business out there. Yeah.
Okay, correct me if I'm wrong. Your business is a 24/7 thing because, you know, trucks are driving left, right, and center.
That's
They
right.
move all the way.
That's right. And our customer care and operational team are 24/7.
So even my question feels a bit invalid because I was about to ask you, how's your day like?
Yeah, I mean, founders' days are always crazy. It's more like firefighting than anything else.
I know, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, you gotta check it out.
yeah,
So you have guys who are always constantly on the watch, right?
yeah. Which is important for our customers and for our transporters.
Absolutely. Okay, give us your parting shot now. Time is over, and thanks a lot, guys. All my country, all your comments. But let me just see one more. Maybe there's one more here. Good challenge to take a leap without income. Entrepreneurship is faith. Wow, somebody picked that up from you.
Thank you.
Faith. Now, your parting shot.
I'm not sure what's required on the parting shot.
Think about it this way. We have all these thousands of business people who are watching. And they're like, wow, amazing, great startup. You've talked about the future of it and all that. And you're about to end. What did you tell them?
If you're thinking about starting a business, just start. Worry about it later.
Yeah.
And I'm really proud of the Amitruck team, and I think they're coming.
Absolutely.
Coming.
They're coming.
They're coming.
Watch this space.
Watch this space.
There you have it, guys. My goodness. It's actually 9 o'clock. Thanks a lot, guys, for tuning in, and we appreciate your time. Mark, Mwangi, amazing, good stuff.
Thank you so much for having me.
You know, by the way, anyone can install that app, is it?
Anyone can. Anyone
Just
can.
go check it out, Amitruck.
Amitruck.
Wow, local, buy Kenya, build Kenya. That's our tagline right here, and we have to definitely promote and see. And hey, I want to give a shout out to my, do you like my shirt, man?
I love it.
Yeah.
I do, actually.
I want you to get some. I'll tell you where. It's called One Stop Apparels. Please, if you can, run it up. It'll be very nice. And they do amazing Kenyan, nice quality right here. So a shout out to them, and you know, I can't wait to see Mark in one. You have a way of just checking up that spot on apparels right there. Asante sana. For all the business people who are watching, keep working, never give up, keep going, as Mark has told us. Bye bye for now. Cheers. Bye bye.